man. That's Facts on Edge. You are watching Confi'Dance. And you with Pacou Mutombo, man. You know what I'm talking about? On today's episode, we have the one, the lovely, the only Michelle Oppenshaw. Girl, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm always good. I am actually great. Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, man. First of all, thank you very much for actually coming through and giving your time to Confi'Dance, because we know for a fact that, especially during the time we're going through now with COVID, which I'm going to ask you how you're coping, which I actually know how you're doing, but I'm not going to get into that. You're going to talk about it.
Yeah, my socials tell you everything.
We're going through something now, but the fact that you're here, giving us your time, I really, really appreciate that. So thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
All right, right off the bat, to people who don't know you, who is Michelle Oppenshaw?
Okay, so there's like obviously many aspects to that, but I'm going to talk about the dance side.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm a deep person. Like we could be here forever if we talk about who I am. So this is a big question. Okay, but actually, I like to think of myself as a versatile dancer, not just in terms of like street styles necessarily, but so I've always been a dancer my whole life. When I was born, literally my gran called me a stepping point.
Oh, yeah?
So because she couldn't tell my grandfather that like there was a daughter, like a female, so he was a judge. So she was like, she sent a note to him and said, it's a stepping point, so that he knew it was a girl. But so it was kind of like prophesied over my life. You know, I was a dancer, so being a competitor, being a national champion, different genres, contemporary, freestyle, disco. Freestyle is in like disco freestyle. There's two different, not like freestyle as an improv freestyle, as in like freestyle like
talking about that freestyle. Yes!
That freestyle. The one that
reminds me of my next question. Thank you very much. Yeah, carry on.
So that, ballroom and Latin as well. And then, lived overseas, competed overseas, trained overseas. That was when I actually got involved in the street dance side of things.
Okay. What
Very cool.
style did you do first?
So you're not going to believe it, but the first style I actually did was breaking.
Everybody starts there. How can I not believe that?
I mean, for me, it's like everyone's like, oh, you will what? So that kind of got me going, and then I came back to South Africa. I'll get back to that one again. I came back to South Africa, started competing, took hip hop a little bit more seriously. I went into locking, but in all the while, at the same time as going in the dance industry and the competitive side, I was always working on choreography and going into entertainment industry. So at the moment, I am a choreographer and creative director. I've got my own entertainment company, entertainment and production company, Mo International.
Mo International.
So, because it's got different things. It's not just performers. It's got like content creation and
Is that why you have like whacking courses and? So
the courses that I do are actually also under the Mo umbrella, but they're Mo dance courses. So there's a variety of them. We started with the whacking one first. We launched it. I say we because I have people that work with me.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Okay.
I love them though. So there's a team. Because there's only so much like one human can do. So I delegate. I've learned that. That's a great skill to learn. So the Mo dance courses, there's whacking and locking at the moment, but there's a house one with Marcus actually coming out soon, which is pretty cool.
Marby. Okay.
So that's cool. I've got professional courses as well for dancers going into the professional industry as a professional dancer, as well as a complete dancer holistic training package. So all of those have been literally actually for the last 2 years in the making, and thanks to COVID. So COVID did me wonders. Thanks to COVID. No, but in a good way. It helped me literally launch them. Yeah.
So
I launched because of that. Yeah, so that's been doing well, and also because of the work that I've done, I was on Dancing with the Stars, and I was also given opportunity to choreograph and to be part of the creative team for that, which got me a lot of other opportunities on The Voice SA. With that team, we're able to do different corporates, different type of things. And because of all of that, I've been involved in the television industry, and that didn't really shut during COVID. So, that was positive for me because even though the corporate entertainment side, that is still like shut, and live events, like everyone is like holding on for dear life. But I was doing well because at least, when people then turned digital, it turned to the filming side, which is something which is my forte, is putting movement and entertainment and creative onto camera, which is what I love.
Did you go to school for it, or did you like just?
No, so I've always
at work.
Literally from I was 16 and I needed to do a fundraiser for me to go to Singapore for the Latin World Champs, and I was like, okay, my parents are not going to pay for it, so I have to find a way. I was like, I'm going to put together a show. So I was like, I think it was probably naivety, but I just threw everything together. I was 16. But then later you're thinking of the one that happened that was. Okay. Those type of things I would put Even those ones, like I did the dance gallery and I did the trademark show,
Okay.
those I could do like quickly and easy because it was kind of natural for me. So that was when, and I was also involved in a church that had great lights and, you know, one of those really like, really, and that's where you learn to play and you get to experience, and like, you know, in the week I could sit with the lighting technicians and I can go, oh, what does that light do? Ooh, pretty, that looks nice with this color. And like, so everything that I've learned, it wasn't me studying at all. It was literally me just putting myself in the deep end and going, you learn from experience. And it's the best kind of university ever. Yep. So everything was that, and then I obviously got, I did get brought in by a few different production houses to choreograph for them. Okay. I'll give massive respect to the Frog Group, who gave me a lot of opportunities to just create under their brand. Yeah. So I did a lot as well. A lot of people thought it was me, but
everybody thought
but it was because they gave,
Michelle.
they gave me a lot of opportunities to create and go with it, and then they would just stamp the yes or no. So everything was just learning. So that's what I do. Choreographer, creative director, said that, do the courses. I used to have a studio, but I closed that purely because I understand that the value that I give is better when I'm able to share it with more. And when you have a studio, people feel like they can't come to you if they're part of another studio.
Let's talk about that, because that's something like.
So that's just from dance studios in general. That's the culture of dance around the world. Well, it's around the world, but we assume it's not because we see places like Millennium Complex or Movement Lifestyle. Those are complexes that are open classes. Yeah, wowie. Sad is the day. But because of those open classes, we think that's the culture, but it's actually just because those are in places where there's massive entertainment industry hubs. So there's like a mass load of dancers everywhere, but there are still your studios where they're like, don't go to that studio because of this. And honestly, like my story, I had an incredible teacher. I don't even know where in the world she is right now. She was incredible, but at age 12, she went to my mom and said, I can't teach Michelle anything more. And this was in the slow dance freestyle world. Okay. She's like, I can't teach Michelle, there's nothing more I can give her. Oh, and that taught
Sounds like Rudy also got a similar story.
Well, yeah, like, and so I started teaching myself, which I'm grateful for, because I then went, okay, this is what I want to do. And they'd be like, you have to wear long flowy skirts. And I'd be like, I'm gonna wear a straight one. And like, because I didn't have a teacher per se to be like, don't do that. And but she became more of a coach. So she let me go wherever I wanted to go. She let me go to other studios, and I did go skull and piece to other studios, to teachers that would teach me when no one was watching, to try and avoid the politics. But she helped me because she was more of like this mentor. And she didn't necessarily coach me in everything, but she helped me make sense of it all. And she helped me become a little bit more of a holistic viewer and like a bigger picture person in terms of my dance. So from age 12, I already knew I was going to be doing what I'm doing now. I had the vision.
I just want to spring from that. Is that how you ended up in Illmatic? Because I mean, like, there's a lot of.
Okay, so that's actually a cool story. It is a cool story, but
that was your first hip hop crew, right?
Yes,
I mean,
I was a Spice Girl. Like so when I lived in the UK, I went to the UK straight after school to compete with ballroom and Latin. Like that was my goal. Like the hip hop world was like not even a thing for me. It was long ago. I'm old, guys. I look young. I'm not.
You look 21.
She's not. She's 33. She's 33. She can admit it. I feel like I am. But so straight after school, I did that. And I was in a club. And I saw a bunch of b-boys, and like they were dancing, and like they were in a cypher in the club, and I actually started stalking them, which is hilarious.
This is before Instagram.
No, Facebook had just come out, so that's how I could stalk them. Well, Facebook hadn't just come out, but it was like 2007. I was like stalking them hard, and eventually I went up to him in the club, and I was like, I had found out his name, Nathan, Nate Gearing. He's a b-boy in the UK.
Okay, cool.
So I went up to him like, you're Nathan, right? And he was a little bit like, who is this girl? Why does she? And I was like, can I get your number? Which really looked like I was coming onto him like really hard. I was like crazy stalker girl. Whoa. And I was like, you do dancing and stuff. I like literally knew his whole life. And it's like, no, I tell you, I want to learn, but I wanted to learn by him alone. I was too afraid to do it in groups or whatever, because I felt like I came from a very rigid way of training. So I could see immediately that hip hop had a culture. And I was like, I literally said to him, you live what you do. Like, it's an actual lifestyle. It's not just you went to a studio, you danced, hip hop stopped, and you left and you went back home. Whereas that was what my life was with Latin. Like, I was Michelle, and then I was like Lottingale. And then like the makeup would go off, and then, so I didn't understand it. So I wanted to do hip hop in secret. And he trained me.
Oh, he actually did?
Yeah, he trained me, and that's why the first stuff that he actually ever taught me was b-boying and crump.
Crump? What? Crump?
Crump, for real. Yep, and crump. Because he was trying to get me out of my mind.
Which crump? The 2007 crump?
No, the way. Yes.
The real crump?
Yeah, that one.
No disrespect to crumpers, but yo, man. Hey.
But he called me the Spice Girl. So he was like, you're a Spice Girl, and everything that I did, he was like, okay, Spice Girl, let's do this.
Oh, wow.
So I came back to South Africa after that, and I wasn't dancing for a while, and Andre Collitz at WX Hip Hop, he saw me. Shuba and them were doing a performance for like Step Up 2 or something, and then they pulled people from the crowd. They pulled me out to do something. They didn't know me. They pulled me out in a crowd, and I danced, and then I was still having coffee with Yoshua, who was actually in Illmatic, and he was in the crew. I was having coffee with him and his mom afterwards because we were friends from like freestyle days. And Andre came over and he's like, you should come to my studio. And I was like, yeah, I don't do the hip hop stuff in public. And then eventually he convinced me, and I went to them. And then Illmatic were part of WX. They were about to do Dance to Las Vegas. Like they had a month to go, and then the one girl broke her arm paragliding. So they were like, with like 4 weeks to go before nationals, they were like, how do we do this? And then they saw me. And then, but I have a choreography skill. Like I pick up choreo really fast.
I was like, you picked up choreography.
No, which I know, but they had to like try and make me look non-Spice Girl, which was fun. That was the hardest part. And then we did that and we qualified. And then 3 months later, I was in Vegas. So I had literally been doing like, actual, and then even then when we went to Vegas, I'm the kind of person, if I'm somewhere, I want to really maximize my experience. So I was like, okay, I'm in the US. I'm a travel bug. I was like, who are the best people in the world? Them that are in the US. Who are the best people? And I was like, cool, so there's this thing called Monsters of Hip Hop in LA. Straight after Vegas, I'm going. It's a whole week of just classes with all the best people. And I did. I sucked really badly. But by the end of the week, I could actually finish all those classes. And I was like, well, that was an achievement. And then the next year, I sucked really bad.
You gotta start up somewhere.
Because I was genuinely a newbie.
Moral of the story, don't be afraid to suck.
Yeah, you have to suck.
Yo, okay.
But you've got to fail. You have to fail at this. Yeah. You have to fail.
You have to fail.
You do, and you have to be unafraid to fail. But I think that's But
really, that's what it is. You got to be able to you got to be able to look stupid, so you feel how it feels like, so you can spring 100%. From it. Apart from the fact that I'm just cool. Because by the time you get down there, you're gonna feel like your life is over.
Yeah, and also like. Even when I teach with the courses that I do, creativity comes from getting rid of that fear of failure. Being willing to fail is actually when the genius happens.
Please say that again.
So being willing to fail is actually where the genius happens. So we do cool stuff in the courses to just get through that little, because I had it myself, because I've experienced it.
Is that how you ended up being, okay, let me question it this way. Who are you in HHR? Because I mean,
in HHR. You've
done with everything that you've done, looking for the right people. Every time you travel back, for the right people and all that kind of stuff. You must have gotten the experience for them to actually consider the fact that there's a woman from South Africa who knows her stuff. And next thing you know, bam, you're in there.
So I competed with Illmatic at HHI. Yeah. Failed also terribly there, which is great. It was the greatest. I sat there making notes. I came back with a notebook of stuff of like, okay, this is how the real people do this. And then the next year I qualified with locking. I think it was 2 years later, and I went as a locking battle. So I went there as a soloist. But again, every time I travel, I literally seek out for about a month or so people to just learn under. And I actually go to places that even styles that I never thought I would have gone into, I go to learn, because if I just understand it, my creativity will change, my teaching will change, my choreography will change. Even if I'm not going to become a popper, I want to learn popping, and I like to absorb stuff. So, I like to just absorb as much as I can, and I really respect the styles because as like I said, it's not just a dance, not just a dance form, it's a lifestyle. So that happened, and then because I'm an analytical mind as well, I started questioning a lot of things. I always ask questions. That's how I learn, because I'm learning from experience. I was asked by the organizers of HHI South Africa to just go to the world with them, to just get a grasp of the rules or the way that the judging, it was very vague, I won't lie. Like I was like, what am I going for? But it was cool.
Did you pay for it or did they pay for it?
It was half-half.
Oh, okay.
But again, I was like, cool, I'm going to the States. Then I stayed for another month and I traveled and I did my thing. So like, if you tell me, Michelle, do you want to go to the States? I'm like, yes, let's go. Like, so I did go, and it was just taking the rules and regulations courses and some of the classes that are there. I was asking a lot of questions. And thankfully at the time also there was a shadow judging program, or they had just started the shadow judging program, and there was only a few of us. And they were brutal because it was the first time they were doing it. So we had to judge every single crew. So we started 8 a.m. in the morning and finished at 2 a.m. And there was like a few breaks, like a 10-minute break here, 10 minutes. It was brutal. It was brutal. And you do this for the whole week. I was like, I don't understand how these human beings function. But those judges were insane. But because I got to personally work with one of the judges, because they had extra judges that year, literally it was like the most incredible experience. One of their judges could actually sit with me throughout the entire process, and she assessed me every single crew. Andrea from Hungary.
Okay, cool.
So she's been a seasoned judge at HHI for a long time, and in the judges' debriefs, the technical director Ian would ask questions to the judges and then ask it to me to kind of test me, kind of like every time he'd ask them, what was your score? And then he'd be like, what was your score? And by the end of it, he was like, you'd actually make a great judge. And he actually said to Vance told me that he asked, why did you not bring her earlier?
Oh, wow, okay, that's
and
nice.
I wasn't going to try and be a judge at all.
So it just happened to happen.
And then they were doing an elite course afterwards, and I said to them, like, can I do that too? And they were like, no, that's not the way that things go. Like, it's very abnormal. But things worked out for me and I was able to do it. And by the end, I qualified as an elite judge. So within 1 year, which is not possible. It's not actually, it's not meant to happen.
But you did it. What you mean not meant to happen?
Yeah, it's not meant to happen, but it did. And then the next year I was on the panel.
Boom.
Which is, yeah, literally, I literally sat there like, this is nuts. I still actually messaged Kent from Ilmatic because we stay in touch like now and then. I was like, can you believe this little redhead girl, I was redhead at the time, like the Spice Girl, 7 years later, she's actually on the panel. Like, from being absolutely...
Which obviously says what? If you put your mind to it and you know where you want to go. Because I mean, as much as you didn't know you were going there or the opportunity was going to
I just have an excellence mindset. So if I'm going to be involved with anything, seize the opportunity, both hands.
Talking about opportunities, man.
Yeah.
There's been something that's been going around when you were part of crews. You just spoke about Ilmatic and you spoke about Kent. I know you're part of Clinch one time. So it means you were under Simba. So.
Sorry. What? How did that even happen? Wow, this is a throwback. Shoot.
So yeah, what happened there?
Okay. Wow. Okay. In a nutshell, actually, there's a whole bunch more to it. But that kind of story. There was a girls' group, Ace, that was formed, and then I left Ace.
Oh, you're part of Ace with Sino and.
Do you know that nice? The first piece of choreo that they did, Skin. That was my choreo.
Oh, you're part of Ace.
Yeah, I left them just before. But then, because of that, I think Courtney was also going to be part of it, and then they said no to Courtney, which is shocking. But anyway, they said no to
Courtney.
Yeah, and then Clinch to Courtney, and then Courtney was like, get Michelle.
Oh.
And then, so it was like that. So then Courtney and I were part of Clinch. So we did Red Bull Beat Battle with Clinch, which was an interesting experience. I'm glad I did it though. I learned some very interesting lessons. I did actually learn a really good leadership lesson though. Ty Wonder was incredible there. One thing, like I will say, we were doing something and I was getting frustrated that the group was just not getting it right. And I was like, no, I'm going to change it because they just can't do it. And Ty pulled me aside and said, you never say that your crew can't do it. And I was like, but they can't though. Because I was that kind of a person. I was like, if you can't do it, move on, let's move on. And he's like, you never say that. And then he's like, you always believe in your crew. And I was like, okay. And I applied it. I literally went back in and I was like, don't worry guys, you'll do it. Like, let's do it slowly. And then I took that mindset and I promise you, that's what I use when I do like Strictly Come Dancing or Dancing with the Stars, where you're taking an absolute celeb that I had a rugby player.
Yes, I watched those episodes.
It's rough. It is rough. Like, but I applied the exact same thing, and everyone's like, "You have so much patience, and how do you get this out of them?" And I was like, "Thanks, Clinch."
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say that.
Simba and Jay, yo.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out. Yeah. But and then after we did Red Bull Beat Battle, then they actually tried to put a female clinch crew together. We did well, actually. It was a good team.
Okay.
It was a great bunch of girls.
All right.
And then when they tried to do a mega crew, then I had family stuff at home, so I was like, can't with this.
So with that being said, where to from here? My producer just hollered at me.
Okay.
So where to from here? What is in for Michelle now? What is your vision in terms of dance in South Africa?
In terms of dance, I've realized like I've learned all these different avenues, and I have this experience in so many different avenues, which is also abnormal in a bunch of genres itself, which is also not usual for someone to be so versatile. I'm like, there's got to be something I can actually give to help someone else be able to find their lane. I'm finding so many dancers are falling off the wagon so soon, and also like so many that get to, they're great dancers and they just can't make anything out of it. So
do you think it's a mentorship problem? Or
yes. So this is why I've started the mentorships. Moments. Courses. To actually take a group of people through the whole process of being able to brand, to understand business as a dancer, to understand business and like accounting and like marketing and branding and like which avenue you want to go in. Is it television? Is it corporate? Is it music videos? Because they're all different. Like everything requires something else. Is it a commercial? Is it television or is it live television? Because that's even different to just like a television. So all of these things require something different, and there's different roles in all of them. And like for me, the direction that I'm going in is also, thanks to my dance, I'm able to go into more creative direction, directing, producing, which is all thanks to dance. But if I didn't have the bigger vision earlier, I would have stopped dancing and done admin.
With that being said, because obviously I'm also half of the people who are doing their own things outside of dance are offsprings of dance. So would you really tell these, not kids, but these parents who could be watching this saying that, listen, if you see a little bit of glimpse of your son, or should I say your child dancing, push them towards that.
Yes.
They get exposed to everything that you got exposed to.
What dance brings out of someone, it just even psychologically and even with discipline, it helps them even if they don't even do dance after school. Like the way their ethics, their approach to work, their creativity, their thinking out the box, those things are like gold in any industry. You look for that kind of thing. So I think that dancing unlocks a lot in people that school doesn't.
Is that why
Studying
you want
doesn't.
to give back all the time? Because you know for a fact that you'll just open that door.
Yeah.
That
So the courses that I do now, the tagline is Unlock Your Genius.
There you go.
Because even if someone's doing a whacking course, they might not be a whacker, but they'll figure out a genius inside. So that's what it is.
What you're saying is so true, because I was as a popper, I always danced here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
then you did a whacking class.
No. I did a voguing class. One.
See, even better!
I did one voguing class.
Is there evidence of this? Where do we find
No, of
evidence?
course not. I was like, hey, Mary, I can't be seeing this class. But literally, I started popping from obviously voguing and opening up. I ended up being able to puff on out here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So with what you're saying,
I even have a singer that does the courses, not so that he can be a better dancer, but his vocals changed after doing my course.
Wow.
Because it's in the mind. So if you're able to, everything I do is working holistically. So it's psychologically, metaphysically, neutrally, like nutritionally, that's the word I was, what's neutrally? Anyway, and then like body conditioning as well as technique, and so all of that. So it's unlocking the genius. Your genius doesn't even have to be dance, but dance will help you with that.
Say that again. Your genius doesn't have to be dance,
But dance will help you with it. I don't remember my sentences. You
Oh,
asked me
bro,
to repeat
you
myself.
need
I'm
to
like,
quote these things, bro. I'm all about that. That's why I'm Pacou Mutombo. That's facts on that. You know what I'm talking about? If anything, before we go, how can people get hold of you?
I'm all over social media. So on Instagram, it's Dance by Mo, or the company is mo.int_, because it's annoying, Instagram that way. Otherwise, it's just Michelle Oppenshaw on Facebook.
Oh, yes, Lee.
Or if you want to email me and be like bougie, it's michelle@mo-int.com.
There you go. It is what it is and it'll be what it'll be, man. That's the end of this show for today. Yo, man, I was so glad. I learned so much, bro. You know what I'm saying? Unlock the unlocked to be unlocked. That's what I gotta say.
And there's a locking course to
There's
be unlocked.
All right, it is what it is, man. I'm out of here, dog. Thank you again for coming, for real, man. This was a blast. I learned so much, and yeah, man, I wish you all the best with your company, and hopefully during these times, you're actually gonna get a lot of students and people will be interested, because I mean, I'm interested. I'm even interested.
Yeah,
you know
you're gonna do the whacking course. You don't even
No!
know it. Yes.
Cut. I'm out of here.
I will find you.